What is good, YouTube? What is good? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Luz Taste. Already know it's me. It's a reoccurring guest, Fus the King, doing his thing. How you doing?
Man, I gotta tell you, Lou, watching prospects, just trying to figure out, the who's and the who's not. And it's been good, man. It's been really good.
I love this time of year. I can't get this quote out of me when I was talking with Jay Tuck, and he literally said he loves the draft because it's football at its purest. This is where we can take away all the politics.
That's a great quote by Tuck. I never thought of that.
Football at its purest. We really can take away the politics, but we really can't. But I'm going to take it away. This is where stats, people evaluate how they evaluate, but I love film. I love studying the game, and I feel like seeing somebody and their dreams come true and how they get there, it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, no, I mean, just even seeing some of the developments come out of the combine today. I wrote some notes down and just, you're starting to get vibes. A guy who's been mocked to Dallas, Walter Nolan. I'm not really getting a good vibe about him. But then I'm getting vibes about, Max Harrison when I've been tweeting about that today. He went out, ran a great 40.
Yeah.
And he's somebody who the film matches. There's a guy like Darian Porter, who Louisville kid, but the film, not Louisville kid, Iowa State kid. Great athlete, looks a certain way, but the film doesn't match. So you're getting vibes around this time of year, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, my dream was to go there one day. Cause I love the coverage that they do from NFL Network, but my favorite drill to watch, I would say, is the 3-cone drill.
Yep.
I want to see I want to be there in person with the drills and how they react to the coaches and everything like that. Because I feel like, that's up close and personal. We just seen tight ends go. Shout out to Lunda Wells. He was there representing the Cowboys. And funny enough, he was doing a drill that is very important to tight ends, the base blocking. So that, that was music to my ears and everything like that. But let's get right into it. Like of all the guests I came here, I lead off with this question just to, open you up. Where does your initial fire from the draft process come from?
That's a great question. So my initial fire from the draft comes from just the deep diving of who these players are, and then figuring out how the scheme marries and matches what they like to do. So I mean, I'll never forget, and I'm just football all the time. I tell people, I started my channel. I used to watch guys I would watch Vosh from time to time. I remember watching Law. This was early on. My first video I ever made, you can go watch it on my YouTube if anybody's watching. Not to get long-winded, but I think that Dak will be a steal for the Cowboys. And it was just me in my bedroom talking. It's almost 10 years ago. But the point is, I've always been into the draft. I used to get draft guys when I was a kid, and so then I just took it and ran with it. And honestly, I've tried to work on getting better, Lou, having more thoughtful takes and trying to figure out why this may work, and guys that I got wrong, how did I get them wrong, or why a player may fit here, or not going to be a good fit, and here's why. And then I just try to make my takes based on that, and then keep going.
Yeah,
Jim McNally, GOATs. So I really nerd out on football. I'm about to order tomorrow plays from Army and Navy it's coming out from Jake Franklin. I love football. I love seeing. I'm football all the time. Every level, I think good football is good football. And every level is football for me.
That's crazy because they got a very complicated scheme, that option scheme, a lot of pulling, so it's it burps from that power scheme. But yeah, that's crazy. I feel like for me, I think I'm a forever student of the game. I was blessed. I always tell everyone I was blessed to be one step away from the big leagues, even though it wasn't at the Power 5 level. I was there seeing guys who definitely, were who definitely made it, and to see them, how they make it in their process and how they got up every day, work out, how they attack the film room. I just could never leave this game, even though when it was time for me to leave. So getting ready to just study somebody, it's beautiful. This watching film. This is my first year ever doing it, on YouTube and everything like that. It's crazy because you see how some people attack it, and you understand the angle they come from, you can see their biases come out, and then you can see people who base their thoughts in stats and be like, oh man, the film says something totally different. I know Luther Burden had a bad year. That doesn't mean that he was bad. If you know what I'm saying, for me being in that room, I understand like how a string of games can go. How like I'm seeing reports Theo Weiss came in and he was getting favorable matchups and like favorable targets, and you would think he would be higher than Luther Burden, but like no, that's still not the case. Like ball knowers still know ball at the end of the day. So yeah, but we're gonna come back to that. Let's go into.
Yes.
I mean, what goes through your mind when you first when you hear Schottenheimer speak? I know. I'll say it. I hated the process, how he hired him. I hated how he got here. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad that we got here.
No, I mean, and that's the beauty of doing what we do. I think the best people in transparency and then saying, you know what, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I need to give this more thought. And to be honest with you, Lou, the first hearing the name, I know about that. You know what I mean? No experience. He was the OC. This offense wasn't great. And now, if it doesn't work out, hey, maybe everybody's initial thoughts were right. But the more you dig, the more you do research, the more you hear him talk, the more you hear people vouch for him. You say, if nothing else, let's give this a try. I'll tell you what sold me is the alignment of the thought that this team isn't far away. I think if you go get a Marcus Freeman, it's a full rebuild. You're drafting a quarterback. You're moving on from certain players. We're getting the whole thing out of there. I think this is a tune-up, a much-needed one when it comes to the run game and his philosophy. I tell everybody, when you talk about Schotty, you got to talk about how much this staff is in line and on one accord. Every staff member that you've heard talk says he has a plan. We want to be violent. We want to be physical. Schotty's making no bones about it. We want to run the ball in multiple ways. And not only did he do that, but then he goes and hires Clayton Adams, somebody who they were violent and physical versus Dallas 2 years ago. They beat us, with Josh Dobbs, a quarterback. All right. And then, so these hires, and I think the world of Matt Eberflus. Schotty came out and said it. Teams wanted Matt Eberflus to call it their defense. He's been in the league. He's great with linebackers. He knows the game. I think that Schotty is doing everything we could have asked.
When I think of Schotty, you're a music guy, but my favorite artist is J. Cole, and my favorite song by him ever is Premeditated Murder. And he talks about how Schotty has that walk-on mentality that transferred in from where he came from, and like he probably failed before, but now he has a methodical plan. He's been sitting back, he's been learning, and he was waiting for that second window to open up. And now, once he gets this chance, if we was to go to his room, he probably got writings all over the wall like it's a mystery or something, because he had this plan probably laid out for 30 years. And you know what? I commend him for it, because it easily could have not been. We could have easily not seen these plans coming to fruition. So I feel like going back to the song, like J. Cole talked about how he's going to come in and he's going to kill the rap game. What he's going to do this, and everything he said, he done. And I just feel like every move that Schotty's done has been very methodical. Every hire has been methodical. Like immediately, like Clayton Adams was like the first name for OC. Like I'm like, this man has been sitting back and he saw how we lost. He was like, and I feel like when other names are being thrown around for the Cowboy job, like the Wittens and the Kellen Moores, I like the one thing I kept saying to people, like, man, hey, I don't think they have enough like repertoire, enough people they know to like come in and hire a great staff. And I was very, very surprised, and I should have known, like, he's been coaching for a very long time, how long this man's pocketbook is when it comes to having people to come hire for their staff. And I would say, like, and he's been every time he comes to the microphone, it's like, yeah, I see it. The plan is laid out. So yeah.
No, and very thoughtful communicator, relationships. Those are the words you keep hearing, Lou. It has me excited. It also just lets me know, like, man, they have a plan for what they want to do with the players. I'm pretty sure you'll get to Guyton. I just think they have a plan.
I hope so. Because, like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's like I was defending the Guyton.
I think you should have been. Listen, here's the thing about Tyler Guyton. You don't mind me talking about it, Lou.
Go ahead. Like,
he's a left tackle. We live in such a popcorn society that he should have came in and gave. I tell you, Olufashanu couldn't get on the field over Tyron Smith. Jordan Morgan. And my buddy plays for the Packers. He could not. He played one game last year. Just Jordan Morgan. So that position is not as clean and as easy as people think it is.
I just like I really do. Like, part of me, like, I was
Was
kind of
that
glad.
coaching in you, Lou?
Huh? It was coaching, but at one point we saw them come around, you know. And at the same time, I'm hearing reports from Brian that, like, you know, he's not being mature,
I heard
and it may
some of
not. And you know, it may not be all the way fire, but there's smoke right there. And what I known from the left tackle position, that is the most important position on the offensive line. That is your enforcer. Like, when you think about, like, who's coming, like, when you fear offensive line, the first like name that comes up to your brain when you sleeping is a left tackle. Then it's the center. And I feel like that position, you're gonna go through fire, and you did. You're gonna face you're gonna get the defense's best every time, because it's the weakness. Like, if you can exploit the blind spot, of course, like, you have the opposing team offense. So he got a lot of learning to do, and I feel like it's a lot of it's mental. I heard Schotty in the interview saying he's in the gym. I love that. Like, he's in the gym non-spot. I hope he's going to a boxing gym as well, working on them hands, because I need them hands to get better, because I seen too much wrestling. That's I just need you to stop resorting to that. And if you can get, like, some type of hand fight, yeah, you know?
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, bro. Like, some of that to me this is just foots, right? I think that he only played 9 games at tackle, and then he's in the NFL.
Like, that's think about that. Because we put the man out there to start at left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys, and this man has not even played a full season in his football life ever at left tackle.
Like, does that register to people? 9 games, nine football games, and then you go
block TJ Watt.
20 years old, 21 years old, whatever it is.
He's young.
Like, come on, he'll be fine. He has, and you know this, Lou. Nothing else. I'm not gonna tell you about linemen, because you watch. That's what y'all do. But he has NFL feet. If the maturity is an issue, okay, he's 20 years old. Let me look up Tyler Guyton's age. Okay, 20 years, whatever the case may be. It's like, it's not. He's 23. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Still very young. He hears voice. He knows what people are saying. And again, Connor Riley, Clayton Adams, coach it up. I'm not drafting a lineman. You got to get a premium player, a day one come in and make something happen player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, y'all convinced me. I'm done fighting from an offensive lineman at 12, but, like, I do think we do need to get something, like, probably in the mid rounds, especially because if they're talking about putting BB and this center class is not good. So maybe one of those guys that's a versatile player, like a Gray Zabel, Marcus Bowe. If you talk about, I want to get I want to get Marcus Bowe in here, so Marcus Bowe can take Tyler Guyton to the boxing ring and teach him some of his hand fighting moves. Because you talking about hand fight, like, the guy's only like 6'3", 300, blocking Big Ten at tackle. And you know what? What I loved about him is that hand fight. He had a y'all don't understand how much a coach values hand fight from a tackle. Because he obviously did not have the strength, but he did enough to occupy the DN. And next thing you know,
now I'll tell you who I do like is Donovan Jackson, but that's for another. You talk about Marcus Bowe. Donovan Jackson's tape isn't much far off. I think Bowe is a little bit younger, but Jackson,
Bowe gonna have to cook. I don't know if we're gonna find somebody like a BB. I don't think a BB is in this draft. Like, it's going to come in and immediately play for you. All these guys are going to have to sit and cook behind whoever you got. But let's go. Let's talk about this draft so far, because, you know, the combine has happened. I don't know about you, but I have become more and more uneasy as we get closer to the draft, especially at that 12th pick, because I feel like,
great point, Lou.
I think it's not as black and white anymore. Because, I mean, this coming from a guy, I used to didn't value testing. I like, 40-yard dash. Like, I view the 40 as, for skill guys, I'm seeing your acceleration. You know, like, how fast can you get to your top speed? For D lineman, O lineman, your 10-yard split. That's all get off. Like, you know, that's all get off. Your explosion. But now, like, I'm seeing these DBs that they work. Like, I don't think I've seen the time below 4.6. You know, like it was like, talk to me. Like, how are you feeling? Are you becoming, like, more and more, like, uneasy about that 12? I don't think it's as clear as it was in January or November when we started.
Ooh, I mean, I'll be honest with you, bro. I think you're right, number one. And then number two, you know, when it comes to, you said something that I think is spot on, right? You said, I'm getting uneasy as we get closer based on the need. And you're right. because I got to tell you, I'm watching James Pierce, which I tried to warn people when I said, man, listen, I get the off the field concerns, but you're looking at an A+ athlete. And this time last year, when you talk about edge, you couldn't have a conversation without having James Pierce.
He casually went out there and ran. Like he ran a 4.5 with a smile on his face.
4.4, 4.5 athlete, dude. I think he ran a 4.4. I think he clocked a 4.4.
Like that's insane. Like, as a DN, like with a smile on his face, like
faster than most quarterbacks. I mean, it was ridiculous. But that's the part where, again, you can't pigeonhole yourself to saying just a running back. And I love the running back. I mean, if it's Ashton Genty, yeah, he was 4.47, so you can round it up to 4.5, but it's 4.47. But the point is, you can't. But that's on tape. Like, he didn't have the sack numbers, but the guy is a good football player.
Pressures,
stout versus the run. Like, what are we talking about? But what happens is we lock into Abdul Carter, and that's the only pass rusher we know. When, again, I watched this happen last year, and I'll take blame for it as well. Man, I'm looking at Jared Verse. I'm like, okay, I don't know. But I'm looking at Latu because he had to twitch the bend the whole 9. And it's like, bro, Jared Verse came out and was easily the best defender and could have been rookie of the year, even possibly over Jaden Dan. People need to go back and really watch how he gave Philly fits at the end last year.
Oh, yeah. It was nasty.
So when I look at Pierce, I'm like, hey, man, just telling you, 6'5", 4.7 athlete, 4.47 athlete.
Besides edge, what position you think we're not talking about?
Corner, linebacker, receiver. I mean, bro, name it. Like, seriously, safety. Like, you could, and that's the beauty of it. And that's where, again, I talked about Maxwell Harrison. Sticky in coverage, can play off, can play man. That is Eberflus's scheme. He likes to play a lot of zone, but he also is a man guy. He's not going to blitz a lot. He expects his corners to do their job, come up and tackle. That's Maxwell Harrison. He's sticky in coverage, great makeup speed, great instincts, and he went out and ran a 4.29 speed. Listen, I love Kalen Carson, but it was clear the NFL speed was too much. It was just a faster game for him. You talk about linebacker. Hey, we don't know. I don't know. You don't know. When's the next time we're going to see DeMarvin Overshown?
We don't.
And so that's a position of need. Then you talk about receiver. We've all talked about receiver. I just think that Tolbert's reached his floor and his ceiling. He's reached both, and he's a receiver 3. You can't wait any longer to think that there's just going to be some breakout year. It's not going to happen. And so that's a true option. And Dallas has come out, and that report has gotten out that they are going to draft a receiver. And I think they wanted that report out. And then obviously running back. Running back is the one for me that there's a type of running back that Schotty wants. The more I do, and that this staff wants.
Physical downhill. Yeah.
Downhill.
Gap scheme.
Guy
can hurry up and get to his top speed. You can see it because I feel like we're gonna see they're gonna be. That's why I'm excited for. We finally are not gonna be having a tendency on film. We're gonna have so many different types of powers and counters and traps, and it's gonna be so beautiful to break down. It's gonna stay tuned, yo. We're gonna be breaking it all down. The angles, hat placement, all that. You naming all those positions. How are you balancing which side of the ball we address? Because part of me, I want to. We all know offense. Probably if we address it now, it's gonna probably help us the most, right? Like the weapons and everything like that. But I'm just sitting here. You saying linebacker? We cannot forget about Flus, and we already know that he's a linebacker guru, right? I'm thinking about Jahad Campbell. We can get Jahad Campbell just in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like they saying him, the room where it happens. Just get him in there, get him developing, or maybe a Carson Schwarzenegger, or maybe if we can get a 3-4 or 4-3 DN, either or, somebody to help Micah get in the room just for half the camp with Eberflus. Because I like Eberflus when he was here. Like I keep telling people, DeMarcus Ware had 19 and a half sacks. I'm trying to replicate that, like some type of way, And I'm like, oh my God. Like I was just tweeting with Jay to Nick Omoruyi. I can't pronounce his name. I ain't watched film yet. But God, I'm in worry.
And so the thing about him, I had my buddy James Foster on the channel, and he told me, we kind of all knew he was going to run like this, freak athlete. The film is good. I didn't see greatness on film, but I did see really good film. But again, he needs to go to the right scheme and the right defensive coordinator.
When he stumbled into a 4-4. I'm like, I tweeted like this man stumbled to a 4-4. He finna run a 4-3-8. And what do you know? Ran a 4-3. Like like seeing all these, like how do you balance what side of the ball we attack? Like we still can't even get about D tackle.
All right, so if it's foots and we're talking about how do we balance what side of the ball we attack, that's a great question. I think for me, I want to get Dak weapons. I think that I want to attack. We still need to have free agency. So you're gonna sign Osa. It sounded like Osa's gonna be signed. You're gonna bring back J. Lou, so you feel better. I still would go get another D tackle and I would sign a linebacker. Now I could draft freely, right? And then after that, it's just like, man, you got to let the draft fall based on your board, Lou.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have to be really. This draft is gonna really show how good we are on our toes, in my opinion, and how good we are. Like how many plan A, plan B, plan C. Like it's really going to be, crazy. But I just did a video today, breaking down the cap and exposing it. But one thing I just want to take away from it, I feel like the Cowboys, when I'm noticing I think the previous drafts you can say has been pretty bad. And I feel like the common theme of that is we draft from a place of pressure. We don't go in level-headed, right? And when we this is the thought process is we drafting Tyler Guy to replace Tyron Smith. Like when you think about that from the surface level, sounds crazy. Are we drafting Kalen Carson to come and fill in for Trayvon Diggs? Or I feel like we don't draft from a place of comfortability. What can we learn from other teams?
I think you can learn that you need to let the draft come to you and don't draft. You drafted for need last year. Let's be honest. You tried to fake get ahead of Tyron Smith leaving. And I think that if Dallas is smart this year, though running back is a need, go this and that is receiver. If the best DN on your board falls, if you looked at James Pierce's film and said, man, guys, he's better than what we have, then you draft him. Yeah. Those are the lessons for me. Because if you don't, Lou, and you reach,
I feel like we draft trend. Like last year, what was the trend? Tackle. And we just felt like any pick would solve it. What's the trend this year? D tackle, running back. I can guarantee you your bottom dollar.
That's a good point.
They're gonna probably double dip in D tackle this year because we really don't have much. They usually follow the trend.
You see how they operate, yeah.
They're gonna follow the trend and operate that way. But I do want to reiterate, in order to not be comfortable going in the draft, you need to participate in free agency, Cowboy Nation. There is Nick Bolton is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like Milton Williams is out there. Make sure to not go into the draft and using the draft as free agency. Matter of fact, I'm being selective. I don't even want to go too deep on the undrafted free agents because this class is very deep in certain positions, and the undrafted free agents is going to be rich. And I don't want y'all to settle your mind already onto that. I need you to go in, yeah. But I appreciate you, Foots, and everything you've done for the draft community.
Thank you,
working
man.
hard. You inspire me every time. Any last
Lou,
words,
thank
man?
you, bro. Nah, man, just keep doing what you're doing, Lou. I love your stuff. I love your O-line. Like, you really know ball, man, and I have no problem jumping on. Just let me know when, and I'll be here, man, because at the end of the day, it's what you said. We are a community, and it's good to see brothers doing stuff like this.
Yes, man. But, hey, make sure to like and subscribe to the video. Make sure to subscribe to Foots' channel if you on this side of the earth. If you don't even know about Foots, you know about me. I appreciate you.
Hey, much love, buddy.
Until next time, man.
Yes, sir. Peace.